Good morning, Southeast Louisiana. I'm Duke Carter, filling in for Katie Steiner. Thank you all for joining us on the Eyewitness Morning News. We start this morning with a heat warning for those of you who have outdoor plans today. So we're going to head over to meteorologist Chris Franklin with the details on this weekend's heat index. Chris, it's just best to stay inside, right?
Yeah, best to stay inside. If you are going to be outside, just use all precautions and common sense. And keep in mind, when we talk about the heat index for the day today, that assumes you are in the shade.
This summer's temperatures have hit some people harder than others. Medical facilities have been busy treating heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Jade Cunningham has some advice for parents as we get into a very hot weekend.
The heat is on and people here are feeling it.
And that was Jade Cunningham reporting. If you think you or a family member is having trouble with the heat, as Chris said, move to a cool place and put a cold compress on the neck, armpits, and other areas of your body. If you aren't sure or believe it's more serious, you want to call 911. Well, breaking news right now from the St. Claude neighborhood. The NOPD says one man is dead this morning. Officers found the unresponsive man in the 2200 block of Louisa Street less than an hour ago. Right now, you're going to see pictures, a live look at the scene of the F.T. Jackson playground. Officers are at the scene right now investigating what led to the man's death. No word at this time on how the man died, but if you get any more information, we'll definitely let you know. Investigators with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office are looking into how one man died over there. They say it happened around 10:15 last night in Marrero. Deputies were dispatched to the 6900 block of the West Bank Expressway and found the victim, a 24-year-old man, shot several times. He was rushed to the hospital where he later died from his injuries. Detectives have not released a motive or suspect information. Anyone with information on this case is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 822-1111. A wheelchair-bound man is behind bars this morning. Get this, though. He's accused of stabbing the hood of a car in the French Quarter, then stabbing a man crossing the street. It happened early Friday morning around 12:30 near the intersection of Exchange Place and Iberville Streets. 56-year-old Keith Martin was arrested after he stabbed and stopped a vehicle with a steak knife, then stabbed a man crossing the street in the upper chest. He also, get this, spat on an EMS worker. Business owners say this is not the first time Martin has caused trouble in the area.
He just probably popped up in the last week and a half that we've noticed him. He was opening up the door. My staff had to tell him to stop and try to, ask him to not do anything. And then he was messing with people in line. He was messing with people in the place next door.
Martin was booked on several counts of battery and drug charges. The condition of the man who was stabbed is not known. The convicted drunk driver who injured more than 30 people when he plowed into a crowd watching the Endymion Parade last year is waking up a free man today. Nilson Rizzuto served just 17 months of his 5-year sentence before his release from jail yesterday. The sentence was shortened by Louisiana's good time parole rules that allow inmates to be released after serving half of their sentence, as well as leniency of Judge Benedict Willard. Rizzuto's attorney said his client is aware of the outcry over the short amount of time that he has served. Attorney Nanak Rai said he has talked to Nilson Rizzuto and he believes his client has learned a very tough lesson.
I don't think anybody can climb inside his brain to see exactly how he's feeling, but he's going to carry it with him for the rest of his life. This is, again, not something that he can just cast aside and not worry about, because he thought about the victims and their families, and as he had time to reflect, he definitely was remorseful towards them.
As part of Rizzuto's sentence, he must complete a year of probation, as well as attend meetings of Alcoholics Anonymous and Mothers Against Drunk Driving. This morning, family and friends are mourning the death of a cadet training to join the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. He died during training exercises. 38-year-old Emmanuel Washington left the Youngsville Police Department near Lafayette to join the Wildlife and Fisheries. It was his third week of training, and he had just finished a 2.5-mile run at the training academy in Baton Rouge Wednesday and collapsed after the run. Governor John Bel Edwards asked Louisiana residents to pray for Washington's family and friends during this difficult time. The East Baton Rouge coroner will perform an autopsy to determine the official cause of death. Welcome back. The social media site Instagram now has over 1 billion users around the world. That's what a B, ladies and gentlemen. And its influence has helped coin a new word, Insta Vacation. Tourists are planning their vacations from other people's Instagrams, and many will visit places with the best photo ops. Hannah Doba found one spot in Brooklyn.
This picture-perfect view of the Empire State Building through the base of the Manhattan Bridge.
Meteorologist Chris Franklin joins us now with a look at today's forecast. Chris, you're hot.
That's true.
Trying to give you a compliment since, you know, we
What
have a
can
little
I
bit of a rivalry on air.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Just a little bit, but it's also going to be hot, hot, hot outside as well.
Yeah, big time. You're going to be sent outside for some reporting
Yes,
later
there will
today?
be a wardrobe change
Got
ensemble.
it. So not
this
outfit.
Oh, no,
yeah.
indeed, no.
Wool suit doesn't work outside.
No, not at all. I'll be sweating bricks and you'll be like, oh my God, what's wrong with Duke? And no, we don't
I
want
think that all the time anyway.
Wow, see, mommy, he's being mean.
Somebody's a big tattletale. Let's take a look at what's happening outside right now. It's only 8:14 in the morning. Things have already gotten started off to a bad note.
Thank you, Chris. Coming up next in sports, the NFL preseason starts in just 2 weeks, and members of the Saints defensive line are feeling pretty confident. Ricardo LeCompte has the details just ahead. Good morning and welcome back to the Eyewitness Morning News. I'm Duke Carter filling in for the lovely Katie Steiner. Some advice, stay inside if you're going to be, well, if you want to avoid the heat. Because
I would.
Yeah, I was trying to finish my thought, but go ahead, cut me off. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead, you're hot, Chris.
I hope you fill in more.
Thank you. I think he's being sincere, ladies and gentlemen, I think.
Sure.
But it's going to be a hot day, right?
It is going to be a very hot day. Yeah, stay inside if you can during the afternoon, especially as we get.
Good advice there, Chris. Well, we are continuing to follow breaking news this morning from the St. Claude neighborhood. The NOPD says one man is dead this morning. Officers found the man shot to death in the 2200 block of Louisa Street less than an hour ago. Officers are at the F.P. Jackson playground right now investigating and looking into the cause of the man's death. Detectives have not released a motive or named any suspects at this point. Again, if we get any more information, we'll definitely let you know. In national news this morning, we're hearing from survivors of the deadly duck boat accident near Branson, Missouri. The Ride the Ducks boat capsized during a storm Thursday evening with 31 people on board. The ages of the 17 people who passed away range from 1 to 70 years old. Cell phone video shows the boat sinking during a storm, packing 63-mile-an-hour wind gusts and violent waves. Tia Coleman describes the moments after the boat started sinking.
I couldn't see anybody. I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't hear screams. It felt like I was out there on my own. And I was yelling and I was screaming. And finally I said, Lord, just let me die. Let me die. I said, I can't keep drowning. I just can't keep drowning because that's how I felt. And then I just let go and I started floating.
Coleman also says they were told not to grab life jackets before the ride because they would not need them. Ripley Entertainment, which owns the duck boat, has not commented. Duck boat tours operate in dozens of cities across the country and carry millions of passengers every year. The largest company is called Ride the Ducks and was involved in the deadly accident we just told you about. Chris Van Cleve takes a look at duck boat safety.
The disaster in Branson may be the deadliest duck boat accident in U.S. history.
Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Washington.
118 duck boats are currently registered in the U.S. Regulations, however, vary by state and whether the craft is on water or land. President Donald Trump's former personal lawyer secretly recorded Trump discussing a potential payment for an ex-Playboy centerfold's account of having an affair with him. People with knowledge of the investigation into lawyer Michael Cohen said the recording adds to questions about whether Trump tried to suppress damaging stories in the run-up to his 2016 election. Rudy Giuliani, Trump's current lawyer, says the payment was never made and the recording shows Trump did nothing wrong. Well, this is really cool. Video from Brazil reportedly shows the sole survivor of an uncontacted Amazon tribe. Now, that's according to Brazil officials. The footage reportedly dates back to 2011, and the man in this video right here that you're looking at is allegedly the only survivor of a group that was killed by farmers back in 1995. Brazil has a policy of avoiding contact with isolated groups, but has reportedly tried to reach out to the man by leaving a machete, an axe, and seeds to help the man survive. But the man has shown no interest in contacting people from the outside world. Runaway criminals and speed offenders in Luxembourg will now be chased down by one of the country's new Tesla electric police cars. The goal is to reduce the country's carbon emissions, and as part of a wider initiative to acquire more vehicles with low or zero emissions for its administration, Luxembourg bought 2 Tesla cars and 4 electric Volkswagen vehicles. Last year, the government announced plans to transition 10% of the country's state-owned vehicles to hybrid or electric. For the first time, local women are planning a big gathering today. This is huge to bring attention to a common medical condition that's rarely talked about. Women are sharing their personal struggles with postpartum depression. And Meg Ferris introduces us to a doctor who has an effective treatment.
Joanne Harmon was busy in the 80s and 90s, a registered nurse and raising 4 children.
Thanks, Chris. There's a new art installation at the Cambria Hotel in the Warehouse District featuring the photographs of Alan Zackham. Kat Todd and Colin Ferguson joins us now to tell us more about the exhibit in this month's Way Art segment. Good morning. Thank y'all for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Y'all are so energetic. Y'all are cute. Talk to us about the exhibitions going on at the Cambria.
Yeah, so we have a partnership with the Cambria Hotel. And we love this one. It's in the way.
Still ahead. Chris and I can dance pretty well. Well, I can, but I don't know about Chris. But check out this pair here. Sorry, Chris, I'm just gonna put you on blast. A deputy accepts a dance challenge from a kid while on patrol. You want to stick around for this. We'll be back. Before we head out, this is something that could warm your heart. There's a deputy dancing off with a young kid in California. The patrol deputy and a young resident showed off their moves in a dance-off in front of a home in Lancaster, California, which is about half an hour from Los Angeles. The deputy responded to an accidental 911 call with his partner, and after taking the time to check that everything is fine and accepted the dance challenge. The deputy found himself in the lead until they started flossing, and it was pretty, well, he said it was pretty hot, and the flashlight kind of threw off his balance.
Oh, that makes sense. You got that utility belt, that is going to throw you off. That's usually my problem.
Oh, well, you know, I'm sorry.
Well, I've got the battery pack for our earpiece and the microphone, and that throws me off my dance. See, I can't really floss that well.
I have no words. I mean, I appreciate your effort for dancing, Chris, but
I try.
You try. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's our show this morning. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tonight at 5. Until then, have a great day.